Number 10. The James Franco video. This one remains a mystery, so it makes sense that one of the first things Heard will try to clear up is what really happened with James Franco. She got grilled about their relationship while she was on the stand when Depp's lawyers brought up a late-night visit by Franco to Heard's apartment in May 2016, which depicted the two getting physically close. You can even see the moment where Franco lays his head on her shoulder, but when asked about the reason he came to her apartment that night after 11 p.m., she said, quote, "Because he was my friend and he lived next door." Quite literally next door. Even though Heard vehemently denied any implications of infidelity, the video footage is ambiguous at best. In her testimony, Heard explained that she was close friends with Franco, whom she made 2 movies with. But did she really put him in the friend zone? Because Depp did testify that he thought they were having an affair, and he would apparently get very jealous about their relationship. That's something she will most likely have to address if she wants to get the public back on her side. Number 9. Cheating with Elon Musk. 3 years ago, Depp accused Heard of cheating on him with her boyfriend Elon Musk, whom she dated publicly after their divorce. This exact accusation also made it into the defamation lawsuit in March 2019. The legal documents read, quote, "Unbeknownst to Mr. Depp, no later than 1 month after his marriage to Miss Heard, she was spending time in a new relationship with Tesla and SpaceX founder Elon Musk." It goes on to say that while Depp was out of the country filming in March 2015, Eastern Columbia building personnel testified that Miss Heard received Musk late at night in their shared penthouse, and she specifically asked front desk staff to give her friend Elon access to the building's parking garage and the penthouse elevator late at night. And get this, the front desk staff would go on to testify that they saw Musk leaving the building the next morning. If the actress ever hopes to clear her name, she's going to need to set the record straight about her relationship with Elon Musk, because even after Depp won the trial, he tweeted support for both of them, saying, quote, "At their best, each of them is amazing." Number 8. Her ex-assistant's claims. The testimony from Amber Heard's ex-personal assistant, Kate James, who claimed that while working for Heard, she was verbally aggressive towards her and would send a barrage of hateful text messages on the regular. And when asked for evidence of these messages, James replied with a straight answer, quote, "I was using a phone that was logged into her iCloud account. When she terminated my employment, she deleted all of the texts from the cloud," which proves that Heard was calculating enough to essentially wipe away all the evidence of her wrongdoing. I mean, the whole reason she wrote the op-ed was to stand up to powerful men who use their position to mistreat those beneath them. But that's exactly what she was doing to all the people that worked under her, like when she screamed at Depp's sound engineer for daring to talk to her. James also claimed that Heard essentially stole her story about being violently attacked and twisted it into her own. In her tell-all book, the actress will most likely expose why she suddenly fired James in 2015 without much explanation other than that she couldn't afford her salary of $25 an hour. Talk about suspicious. Number 7. The UK trial. When referring to the UK trial that Depp lost, Heard said, quote, "There was another trial that dealt with the same substantive issues and had even more evidence in." What she's talking about, of course, is that the London court rejected Depp's defamation lawsuit and ruled that 12 of the 14 alleged incidents noted by the newspaper, and that their headline calling Depp a wife-beater was proved to a civil standard. He even appealed to overturn the verdict, but it was unsuccessful. And shortly after the ruling, the actor stepped down from Fantastic Beasts because his reputation was torn to shreds. But it's true that there were quite a few differences between the two cases, namely the decision makers. So the case was tried in front of a judge in the UK and in front of a jury in the US. Heard is not going to let anyone forget the fact that she won the first case, and will probably delve into the 12 incidents of domestic violence, which were proven to be true. Heard and her lawyer Elaine Bredhoft kept bringing up these facts during their respective post-trial interviews on NBC. She's clearly dying to reveal just what was proven about Depp in the first trial. Number 6. The audio recordings. The audio recordings played during Johnny Depp's testimony show Heard admitting to starting a physical fight between them and downplaying his reaction to the incident. They were discussing their explosive March 2015 Australia fight that resulted in Depp's right middle finger being severed at the tip. In what was basically a confession, she said, quote, "I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I didn't punch you." She also told him to grow up and called him a baby. The recording was damning evidence which got the jury to consider that it might have been Heard who was the instigator in the relationship. When speaking on NBC, she said that the tapes were edited after being uploaded online. Quote, "What you hear in those clips are not evidence of what was happening." She claimed that the 20-second clips are not representative of the 2 or 3 hour conversations from which they came from. Now, if she wants to get any credibility back, she's going to have to back up those claims and release the full audio from those conversations and not just write about it in her book. Number 5. Exposing her lawyers. There's no question about whether or not Heard will try to throw her lawyers under the bus. After all, Dr. Shannon Curry evaluated her for 12 hours and said that she often externalizes blame. One of the ways she could do this is by exposing what it was that her lawyers instructed her to do in the courtroom. In fact, throughout the proceedings, many people questioned the competence of her defense team, and it's not hard to see why. Like the viral moment where Heard's lawyer, Adam Nadelhaft, objected to his own question, or when Elaine Bredhoft continually questioned Dr. Curry about muffins. In fact, she forgot to turn on her microphone so often that there's now a funny compilation of it online. There was even a clip posted online of her leaving the courtroom, which has since gone viral. After she was being questioned by Bredhoft, her attorney conceded that she had no more questions, and the judge told Heard to go and sit with her counsel. But instead, she chose not to sit with Bredhoft and instead just walked out of the room. Number 4. Her real finances. The trial has raised some serious questions about whether Heard's pockets are deep enough to foot the bill that she owes Depp, exactly $10.35 million. The actress admitted that she was unable to donate the $7 million to charity after her divorce in 2017 because her ex-husband had filed a $50 million lawsuit against her. But if Heard cannot fulfill her obligation to pay Depp's damages, the court may choose to take part of her current and future wages. But Heard's messy financial issues are now coming to light, as Terence Doherty, an executive for the ACLU, testified about a $3.5 million pledge that Heard made to the organization after her divorce settlement with Depp. The fact is that only $1.3 million of the $3.5 million has been made so far, and Heard suspended her payments to the ACLU in 2019 due to financial difficulties. After their divorce, she applied for spousal support, asking for $50,000 per month to cover her various expenses, including $10,000 for rent, $2,000 for eating out, and $10,000 for pet supplies and legal costs. She's clearly living above her means, and many people wonder how exactly it is that she's going to pay Depp back. Number 3. The huge TMZ lie. The crazy testimony from Morgan Tremaine, former TMZ journalist, revealed that the celebrity news publication had been able to get access to exclusive photos and videos of her during her divorce from Depp. Tremaine told the court that he was tipped off on her whereabouts and he was able to dispatch paparazzi to her location. So why was this a mess for Heard? Well, in her own recorded testimony, she claimed that she was caught off guard by the photographers and that she has no idea how TMZ got a hold of the story. This is something she really needs to address in her tell-all book, because there's a clip of her which went viral showing the exact moment she slipped up by admitting that TMZ was alerted. In the video, she tries to hide the mistake by suddenly wiping her face, but it's very clear from body language alone and her big physical reaction that she had been caught in a lie. Heard has some serious explaining to do about that moment. Number 2. How she got the Aquaman role. During the trial, DC Films president Walter Hamada said in a pre-taped deposition from March 15th that Heard and Momoa weren't well matched as a screen couple. Quote, "They didn't really have a lot of chemistry together." He added, "I think editorially they were able to make that relationship work in the first movie, but there was concern that it took a lot of effort to get there, which makes it pretty clear that Heard didn't get the role solely based on her audition, because even the best actors just can't fake chemistry." Over the course of the trial, it was eventually revealed that Depp played a major role in getting her cast after she auditioned, even claiming that he made a phone call to Warner Brothers executives to seal the deal. The thing is, if she ever wants another role in Hollywood, she absolutely needs to refute these claims, because any casting director who hires her is going to get a lot of flack for it and risk their project being boycotted from the get-go. It would be a PR nightmare. Number 1. suppressed evidence. This is a big one, and the only substantial thing that she's still holding over Johnny Depp. In her NBC interview, she mentioned that there was so much evidence which was left out of the US trial. In fact, she had already shared some of it during the interview in the form of therapist notes, which she alleged that Depp had physically attacked her. Quote, "There's a binder worth of years of notes dating back to 2011, from the very beginning of my relationship, that were taken by my doctor. These notes date back to 2012 and continue until the couple split in 2016. And on one page, the therapist wrote that Heard claimed Depp had hit her and threw her to the floor. Another note 8 months later said that Depp had ripped her nightgown and threw her on the bed." She told Savannah Guthrie that the notes represented years of real-time explanations of what was going on. Although this new evidence has already been criticized as fake, Heard clearly believes she has much more to reveal, and she's saving it for her revenge book.
Number 10. It's already been proven. One of the main issues with her interview on NBC Dateline and the potential book of what went on during her and Johnny's relationship is that the majority of the accusations that she continues to discuss and stand by as the truth were already determined by a jury to be false. The evidence presented by both sides proving that her allegations were not based in any sort of fact, and the court of public opinion not believing her. So the precedent has been set that the statements were defamatory. So if she takes to the public to continue making these accusations and allegations and continues to write about them in the future book, she is continuing to commit the crime of defamation. So this could put her wide open for being taken to court again for trying to push the same scenarios as truth and trying to pull Johnny Depp down and present him as the villain and herself as the victim. Number 9. Perjury. Another thing that people are calling for Amber Heard to be taken to court over, even since she first took the stand, is for her committing the act of perjury. Perjury is when you purposefully and knowingly lie in court while under the oath. One defamation lawyer said that it's definitely possible that she could face the charge, saying, "I think that as this case goes on and we start seeing more and more objective evidence that she is lying about things under oath, that's when it starts crossing the line into the possibility that she is fabricating evidence, fabricating photos, fabricating bruises, altering evidence, and then submitting it." Perjury is a big deal in court cases as it can put a massive wrench in delivering justice. One of the most important parts of a case is evidence, as you have to prove that whatever happened did actually happen. It's not the old days anymore, and simply saying that someone is a witch isn't enough to get them burned at the stake. So witnesses and testimonies are incredibly important, and it's crucial that they are actually true. Lies can lead to innocent people being put away and the guilty going free. So what are some of the things that Amber Heard is being accused of having lied about while on the stand that could end up in court? Number 8. Bruises. One of the biggest things that people pointed out as being a lie from Amber Heard was when she was talking about the injuries that she had received from Depp. Depp's lawyers were hard on her about the fact that they had found photos from around the time of the alleged injuries that didn't showcase any of the previous bruises or marks that Heard's team had displayed in different photos. Amber Heard went on to describe that she had become proficient in using makeup to cover up the bruises, and that's why they hadn't been present in the photos that Depp's team had submitted to evidence. However, when she describes the method in which she applied the makeup, she actually does it out of order, saying that she used the color corrector after the foundation, which would not cover up a mark, but instead create one. Photos from the trial also seem to show the palette, which she embarrassingly referred to as a bruise kit, and people on social media were able to find what they think is that exact palette, which is actually called a theatrical bruise and abrasion kit, and is used specifically for the purpose of making fake bruises. Number 7. The donation. Another hole that Amber Heard dug for herself was her apparent mistake of mixing up the words pledge and donation. When she first went through her divorce with Johnny Depp, she pledged to donate the money that she earned to 2 different charities, the American Civil Liberties Union and the Children's Hospital Los Angeles, saying she would split up the money over separate installments. By the time the trial came around, it was revealed that she hadn't even donated close to the amount that she had promised, and Depp's lawyers called her out on that. This is shocking because back in 2018, Amber Heard said that she had donated $7 million in total. When asked about why she had said that since she hadn't actually donated it, she said, "Well, I use pledge and donate synonymously," which literally nobody else does. Pledge being the promise to do so, and donate being actually doing it. So she was basically trying to cover it up by saying that she had used donate to say she was going to donate it and not that she actually had. Is this too confusing yet? Let's just move on. Number 6. Therapist notes. This lie was a piece of evidence that was not actually accepted into court, it being disallowed under the grounds of it being considered hearsay. She brought it up in her Dateline episode where she referred to it as the one piece of evidence that she wished would have been considered, this being therapist notes that had allegedly been written during her relationship with Johnny. Amber saying it is a binder's worth of years worth of notes about things Johnny had done to her. Many people, however, have looked at the pictures of the supposed notes and started to analyze them. One therapist claiming that it looks nothing like how a real therapist would write, and people comparing the handwriting to Amber's own, finding them shockingly similar. So if she tried to explain these in her book and present them as factual, anything new in there could probably be considered as being defamatory. Number 5. New information. On the topic of new information that the therapist notes might be hiding, there is also the fact that Amber Heard will have a great opportunity to bring up plenty of new accusations between the two covers. This is why many people are saying she needs to be extremely careful about what she says and how she says it, as it could turn into the results of the op-ed all over again. If new accusations are made or even more information is added to the original ones, Johnny Depp and his team are open to finding them defamatory as well, as long as he can prove that these new allegations and statements cause some sort of damage to him, as this is required to prevail in a defamation case. Number 4. The Dateline special. Before talks of the potential book started going around, those following the aftermath of the trial were excited to see Amber Heard's appearance on an NBC Dateline television special. People were wondering what new information might come out and if Amber Heard might be as heavily mocked for her performance in this as she was for her performance in the trial. But most people were left disappointed, as it really didn't present viewers with any new information about what had been going on, save for Amber's mention of the disallowed so-called therapist notes. She mostly restated the previous accusations she had made throughout the trial, still standing by her declaration that they were true. While it may have been a bit of a boring and disappointing episode for avid viewers, it does raise some concerns for Amber's situation and her determination to continue speaking out. Because the airing of this episode can be considered another publication, her statements could once again fall under defamation, Amber towing a very dangerous line with everything that she says. Number 3. Public opinion. With the massive spectacle that the trial became and kind of still is, you'd be lying if you said that the majority of the public hadn't turned against Amber Heard. From the social media memes to callouts and personal attacks, it's clear that Amber Heard's reputation has never been worse, and she seems to only have a small group of fans left attempting to defend her. Over the past few weeks, we have heard constant cries from people that Amber needs to go back on the stand for perjury, and calling her out for other potential crimes. As a result, if she ended up going back to trial for defamation again, or potentially her even attempting to sue Johnny again, it probably won't end very well for her. As was alluded to by Amber and her lawyers, they believe that the jury was swayed by social media during the trial. If they ever needed to go back again, you would be hard-pressed to find anyone to sit on the jury who had no previous knowledge of the original trials, and would not have bias in either direction. Because of the eyes she has on her, every little thing she says is being carefully dissected and analyzed. So if she wants to write a book, I'll say it again, she needs to be incredibly careful about what she says. Number 2. The previous trial. As some of you may be aware, a previous defamation trial took place between Johnny Depp and Amber a few years ago in the UK. Johnny Depp was suing the Sun publication for an article where they had referred to the actor as a wife beater. The basis for this coming from the accusations and allegations Amber had made in her original Washington Post op-ed. This trial, however, did not end well for Johnny, many people crediting this to the fact that it was not determined by a jury, but instead a judge. The article was found as not being defamatory, and Johnny did not receive the $50 million that he had been requesting. This fact, as acknowledged by Amber, may be a pushing force for her to appeal the verdict of the 2022 trial and prolong the defamation case. Her and her lawyers both believe that having a jury was a bad choice, as they were not sequestered and could have fallen victim to outside influence and bias. So this precedent of the UK trial may lead to this thing being dragged out even longer. Number 1. Other celebrities. When the trial started circulating, the public weren't the only people to have opinions on the trial and the two people involved in it. Many other celebrities weighed in with their perspective, and most took sides between the two performers. As a result, it looks like Amber Heard made some enemies in other celebs. This whole video we've been talking about potential defamation and other charges in regards to Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. But what if Amber decides to mention mention some other celebrities within her book. This could leave her open to a whole new trial or controversy between her and someone else. And with the statements we've heard from some famous people towards her, it wouldn't surprise me if Amber felt like the pages of her book would be a good place to get a bit of revenge.